Spanibis.
Shout out Clifton Bell.
Peace, my brother. How you doing? Welcome to the East Coast West Coast podcast.
What's going, my guy?
What's up with it, Sherb?
What up, man? Yo, it's good to see you, man. And I'm glad that I wanted to ask you, man, because I know you was traveling to Spanibis for the festival out there, and then all of this crazy Corona shit hit, man. Do you have an experience that you want to share from being out there?
I mean, it was crazy, man. Like, I was out there for 3 weeks, and you know, when I first went, it was we knew it was popping off, but it wasn't really. U.S. wasn't doing anything. It was really just kind of an Italy thing. It seemed isolated, and then day by day, it seemed like it was progressing. It was getting worse, and it just really, I was in Spain. It was a Thursday night, and then like my phone started blowing up because I guess it was like 2 a.m. when Trump over there. It was like when Trump announced that he was closing the borders, even though it was even though it was to non-U.S. citizens. I already knew. I assumed the worst, and I knew it was going to be like every day it was going to be advancing. Yep. I mean, like, and look at where it is now. So I pretty much woke up to all these messages. You know, called my the American Express agent and was like, "Yo, get me the fuck out of here."
Smart.
And they worked with me, and they got me like some fly. I had to go to. I had to fly through. Fucking the shit was crazy, bro. You know, like I just feel like, and you know, I'll just go ahead and say it on here. It's like once you test positive for something like that, or it's like, to me, it's like getting caught up in the penal system, man. It's like you're numbered, your name. Now they know who you are. Now you're on a list of like, okay, well, and think about whatever you want with it, but like, I'm not trying to get tested. I'm not trying to like catch that shit.
Exactly.
I don't give a fuck if I gotta go live on a mountain by myself and eat out of fucking canned foods and shit. I'll do it.
Nah, salute.
You know, but,
yeah, man.
And we feel the same way.
We do,
well.
And so safe to say you're not gonna get the vaccine if they put one out, right?
Fuck no. I already have and I'm already prepared for what to do if I'm forced to have a vaccination.
Really?
You know what I mean? If it ever comes down to where they make us
Bill
take
Gates
a vaccination, I'm already prepared for what I got to take and everything, and to basically counteract that shit out of my body.
Okay, we got to talk offline for sure.
Yeah, no, because I'm hearing stuff like how they're gonna make us all have to do it. It's mandatory. It's gonna become.
That's the goal.
Eventually. I mean, you know, I'm a spiritual dude, man. You can look at like this shit's like it's in the Bible, it's in other religions. You know, it's getting to that point where, you know, I hate to say it, you know, not just to say on the Bible, but if you want to look at biblical, you know, you're looking at like the sign of the beast, if you will. Like
the mark
a lot of people. Yeah, the mark of the beast. A lot of people look at that as like the chip that's on our debit card, or you know, vaccines that we are forced to take. It's one of those things where if we come and we have a choice, like we don't have to use debit cards. We choose to use debit cards. They're forcing us to, though, right? They're boxing us in. Yeah, then with vaccines, we don't have to. Technically, a lot of these countries we do, but in America, obviously, there's an agenda. I'm from the school where like illnesses and shit, bro. It's like it's an attack on your spirit. Right. It's a spiritual attack. Like you can look at whatever way you want, but obviously our bodies and our spirits, we have capabilities of being able to fight off these spirits, if you will, or whatever it is that these things actually are. So even if something enters our body, the good news is that we have ways spiritually of getting these things out of our body.
For sure.
But the thing is, we don't want to fight these fucking things. You know what I mean? The illness affects your spirit. It affects your energy.
Let me ask you something, Mario. Are you pretty much a doomsday prepper? Have you ever really been one of those people that kind of was preparing for something to go down and that you always kind of took proper recourse to make sure you were stocked up on everything? Or did this kind of just hit you out of nowhere like everyone else?
No, 100%. I've always been in this mindset. You know, my brother was military. He came back 100% disabled, PTSD from the Gulf War. I've seen him having to wear gas masks. They were giving him horse pills to fight the chemical warfare that they were facing over there. I saw the chemical warfare, the gases that they were unleashing on our soldiers, you know, and the U.S. government knew about all this shit, you know. And so I've seen the military side of it, but I've also looked at the history books. And if you look at what's happened in the Great Depression, if you look at what happened has happened during wars, I'm a martial artist. I'm a Muay Thai fighter. I have weapons. I understand that, like, as a provider, as a father, as a husband, like, not only just for myself, but my community, my immediate friends, not everybody is as woke. A lot of them, I mean, I'd say a large percent of the people, and why it's so difficult on people right now is people, they're panicking. They go to the stores and they don't see toilet paper and they fucking panic. It's like, motherfucker, why don't you look at what's going on in some of these other countries? There is no rights. Women are raped. They're beaten. They're taken from their fucking families. Like, this shit, not being able to get toilet paper, shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here. Like the people have no idea in the U.S. what it means to suffer, you know? And so I'm ready. Like, the reality is you always have to be prepared for anything. You know what I mean? Because if they shut off your water, if they shut off your power, like, what the fuck are you going to do? You going to go ask your neighbor? You're going to go to the government? You're going to go to your homie and say, hey, feed my family?
No.
I have a saying that I like to, that me and my friends use, a couple of them. One of them is stay ready. You know what I mean? Don't get ready. Stay ready. Always. And then stay woke. You know what I mean? Those two things, like, that's a mindset.
Words to live by, to be honest.
Oh, man, tell me.
You know?
Stay ready, so you don't ever have to get ready. And what that means is be ready for, like, right now, guess what? I had wipes. I had alcohol. I had food. I had my shit ready to go. You know what I mean? I'm prepared.
You had baccio. You had gelato.
I had peas. Like, that's one thing. I was like, I'm all right for this quarantine. I got some weed over here.
Yo, what are you smoking on during this quarantine? Just as while we're on that subject.
What's
organic?
What's the number one thing?
I'm smoking on indoor mochi. I'm smoking on all the new phenos. I've been doing this pheno hunt, so I've been smoking through hundreds of different flavors.
Oh wow. Okay.
You know, the thing is, I feel like part of the reason why I want to speak on this is, like, these are the kind of things that we need to be talking about, that we need to be educating the community. A lot of these people that are just simply not woke, they're dependent on posts. Like, I literally was getting messages from, like, wealthy friends of mine, like, oh my God, Postmates isn't delivering anymore. And, like, that's their way of surviving.
Yeah, they
don't
do
groceries. They don't have a car.
Some
like, they do Uber and they do Postmates. But aside from that, it's like even my kids, we're in here, my daughters, and I'm like, they're cooking, you know, mom ain't always cooking. Like, my daughter, no, they're 14 and 12. They're in there cooking meals. They're in there cleaning. They're in there doing to where when they have a family, you know what I mean? What if this shit goes down? What are you going to do? You can't cook nothing. You can't make nothing. You don't know how to prepare for your family.
No. You know what? You're 100% right when you're saying that this is a topic that we got to bring to the forefront, because our kids won't be prepared if we don't. You know what I'm saying? Like if they don't, there's kids right now that don't know. They probably don't even want. My son, I'm sorry to say it. I apologize to say this in advance. He tells me, I don't even want a car. Why do I want a car when I could just Uber? This is a boy that's telling me I don't even want a car. Now imagine when you was 12 years old, Ali and Sherb.
I was stealing the car.
I was dreaming about the day
I was taking Uncle's car, and I didn't even know how to drive stick. I was in there.
The car at 12, 13.
I'm putting the keys in my pocket. I'm acting like I'm looking at it, imagining like it's mine. But it's like, they just don't want to do things. So even something as like driving is too much.
Yeah.
So cooking is too much. Why? I can order Postmates.
But listen, this is what I call it, guys. The pussification of America. You know, let me say that again. The pussification of America.
Pussification.
I'm writing that down.
Pussification. And what that is back when we were, you know, we're pretty much the same age, guys. Regardless of where you grow up, in our age, your late 30s and your 40s. Back in the day,
thank you so much.
If you had an issue, somebody will come to your door. or when you're at the bus stop or whatever, guess what? You're gonna get punched in your fucking face. You talking shit.
Mouth. Yeah.
Repercussions.
You're getting fucked up, scared, like holy shit. Like these 8th graders about to beat my 5th-year-old ass, 5th grade ass. And nowadays with social media, and there's so many different layers to it, but you don't have to answer to nothing. You can hide behind a keyboard with these keyboard warriors, we call them. Yeah. Where whether it's on the video game and people are talking shit to other people they'll never see,
Twitter
or
fingers.
on social media where they're talking shit to people, bullying, all this bullshit. There's no accountability. We grew up, and a lot of the reasons, like Ali, like you, right? We get along really well.
Right.
You're from the same cloth. Like, it's a respect, it's an honor. You do right by the people that do right by you.
Yeah, we still have the code. We still have the code, bro.
Bro, the young people don't understand that code, and it's scary because that code is what holds societies together, in my opinion.
Do you feel like we're at fault, though, for not teaching them that? Or do you feel like slightly? I mean, do you think...
we are at fault, and that's why he's saying we got to speak on it.
Yeah, because I really...
are 100%
I've been saying that. Like, I definitely feel like they don't have the code, but then who's there to teach them that code? The people before us definitely let us know, hey, there's a code here. You can't cross that line.
But that's what's missing.
Yeah, that's what's missing.
That was the end of it.
And that's called accountability, bro. And that's what we need to do. We need to make them accountable. Everybody needs to be accountable, bro. You can't just let shit slide. The days of letting shit slide and not saying anything because it's just more cool for you to not say anything because it just doesn't fucking fuck up your day. That's bullshit. You gotta tell people how it is, man.
I'll give an example. When we were kids in the grocery store, if we were fucking up, stepping on a line, some other adult would look at us and be like, kid, you better stop doing that. I'm going to whoop your ass.
Exactly.
And it was actually okay. No one got mad.
Now you're going to jail.
Now you're going to jail. Now there's going to be somebody in your face. It's like it was a community thing. You know that saying, it takes a village to raise a child, right? We're getting away from that. We don't have the village anymore. The village is separated. Before it was like you had the people around you, these older people, they'll whoop your ass. They'll be like, boy, what you doing? You better not do that. You better not speak to women like that. You better not go do that. Nowadays, all these kids are getting away with it. These kids these days, they'll be like, fuck you, Unc. Fuck you bitch ass nigga. Like, they'll say it right to your face.
Yeah,
they don't give a fuck.
You know why? Because YouTube is their teacher. They're listening to these people, and I'm going through this right now with my 7-year-old. I'm trying to wean them off of YouTube because it's so convenient to throw him in front of the iPad, and he's not bothering you for an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, God willing. And, those are mistakes that I feel like I did, and now I'm trying to pull them back from that. But the only reason why I knew was I started listening to what they're listening to. I started watching their shows and seeing what they're doing. Weed cough.
Yeah, weed cough. And that it was all pussification, right? It's all pussification.
Yeah.
No. It's just there's no honor.
I mean, here's the reality. Here's another aspect of it, and this needs to be talked about. And it's interesting because I'm in the cannabis industry. Obviously, I'm selling weed.
Word?
And you guys are in the music industry, and there's a lot of drugs
Allegedly
being used by artists. Lean. Let's just talk about some of the elephants in the room.
Yes.
Lean, right?
Horrible.
There's nothing good about lean.
Zero.
I don't give a fuck. Like zero. Like,
Except
and
how
if you're
it tastes.
taking lean, if you're taking it recreationally, let me just tell you, you need to fucking stop that shit. There ain't nothing cool about that shit. It fucks people up. It puts motherfuckers into seizures. And it's shit like this that needs to be addressed by leadership. I know certain musicians have spoke out about it and said, hey, it ain't cool. And there needs to be more people because these kids look up to these people, these young artists that are sitting there talking about, all they talk about is the drugs, the Xannies, the fucking, and you know what? I've talked to certain artists. I go, why you talk about that, bro? I never even seen you do it. And they're like, that's what's popping right now.
That's the fashion. That's the fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what the fuck? Fashion? Like, who cares about your sales or your record? You're going to sell your shit, you'll sell your soul, and have these kids that look up to you you'll be talking about, I do bars and I do this and that's cool. Fuck that, dude. Yeah. I don't support any of these artists that do that kind of shit. They're the ones that need help, man.
It's misrepresenting, like misleading the kids. Basically.
Yeah, like in our era, like in our era, I'm dating myself.
We were the drug dealers.
Yeah, but we were the drug dealers, not the drug users.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? It was the drug dealers were the ones that were glorified, but now you glorify the junkie. Like, how
and
is
that's
that cool?
a problem, and that's a real issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's that I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do drugs. Fuck you. I'm gonna tattoo my face. Fuck. I'm like, dude, look. A lot of these people we know. A lot of these people are artists that we fuck with. I get it. I don't want to. But the reality is, if we're those unks,
yeah,
then what? We shut up or we go, what the fuck you doing, kid?
No,
we pull them aside. I literally pull people aside. I don't even know. I'll give them some weed and I'll be like, I don't know what's up with you, dog, but you need to be on this weed. What you doing? Oh, sure, because they fuck with me. Oh, I've been on them bars, bro. I've been really fucked up. I'll be like, bro, I'm here for you, but let me tell you, that shit ain't doing nothing good for you. Here, take this weed. When you need some weed, holler. And literally, I could name a couple artists. I won't say names. And I'll see them 6 months later. They gain 20 pounds. Not every instance. Sometimes it goes the other way. But sometimes you see them and they're like, hey, man, I really been doing good. I'm not doing that shit no more. Mm-hmm. And who knows that, like, when they look up to me or you one of you Ali's and somebody they look up to hanging out with artists that are dope. But these kids look up and they it matters what we say. They might not ever say it, but they're looking for, kids need discipline. They won't ever say it, but they need somebody to smack them upside the head and go, yo, this is your borderline. This is the wall. Don't go past this shit or I'll bust your motherfucking ass.
Facts. That's so true. And like, as you saying this, it's like for the past year, I've been feeling like I got to do more. Like I feel like I say what you're saying, Sherb. Like I'll say that, but then like, where's my action at? Because I'm not going to the Boys and Girls Club and trying to help the kids, or I'm not actually doing something. So, you know what? Like right here, I'm moved off of this conversation. I'm gonna pledge right here that I'm gonna go and actually do something about it. I'm gonna give my time.
Yeah, we're gonna hold you accountable for that.
No, I'm telling you, I'm giving you my word. I'm doing it.
You heard it.
You know what, Ali? You creating this platform and creating a place for us to have a conversation with 70 people about this, you're doing something. It's vocalizing. It doesn't mean we got to go and stand in a line and hand out turkeys. We got to say what's real on our mind.
Absolutely.
And right now, you know why I'm taking this opportunity to say this? Because you know what? Everybody from all walks of life, rich, poor, my hood niggas to the richest people I know, they're all on their knees. Every single one of them. And you know what?
Pray it up.
God has a funny way of getting everyone's attention. And most of the time, it's when they break you the fuck down, take everything away from you and go, oh, you want to listen now? And that's where we're at as a world. We're going, damn, this, we're wearing masks and shit. And you mean I could die? I could not be able to breathe and be on a ventilator?
Yeah,
my country's so fucked, I might die?
Yeah, we're all on the same playing field now. We're all on the same playing field. Everyone's the same now.
And now is the opportunity for the message to be told, bro. Now while they're on the knees, it's the same way while in these people that go into these churches, right? And I 100% believe in churches. It served a purpose in my life. I believe that there's it's getting away from what it once was. But I feel like churches it's a gathering of souls, broken souls, bro. And there's people that are so broke and they're like, look, this is the pathway. Look it, follow this. And some people get it, some people don't.
Yeah.
But spirituality, like I was going to be a preacher if you don't pick up on the vibe. When I was 18, 19 years old, my parents were split up in high school and I went through a bunch of shit. I started doing drugs. I was really depressed. I was dating this girl and her parents, the only way I could hang out with her is I had to go to church on Sunday and I could hang out with her. And we'd make out on the way, like while I was driving her home and shit. And, like that was the only. But then one day there was a message and it just kind of hit me. And the message was like it was about the one astray. And the Bible talks about like God has his eye on all the sheep, right? But there's always one sheep that goes astray, and he never loses sight of that one sheep. And the sermon followed up with that every one of us is a light in darkness. We have the opportunity to go, and we all know people. I don't know. There's a lot of people, Ali, your network. That's your network. I don't know those people. But when we have a similar vibe and energy and a thought, we can go and we can be that light in that darkness. And we can touch people that I could never touch, that the other Ali, West Coast Ali, could never touch. I chose that I'm not going to go to Florida, to Pensacola, Florida. I was literally weeks away from going to Pensacola, Florida to become a preacher. I asked God, if there's another way, show me. And God basically said, you're leaving the church. You're going to go to San Francisco. You're going to go to San Francisco. And because there was just this energy that drew me. And every time I went there, I was like 20 years old. I was like, I got to come here. It's raw.
Wow.
The energy. And back then in 1999, the energy was raw.